Am I the astronaut for pulling my daughter from a field trip? My daughter Bryn, female 9, is going on a trip to a nearby water park with her class next week. She loves water and has been talking about it for months, so I was a bit thrown off when she came home crying a few days ago and told me she didn't want to go. I asked her why, and she wouldn't tell me because she thought I'd think she's a bad person. When I finally coaxed it out of her, she said her teacher, Ms. N, has forced her to be the buddy of her classmate Ben for the entirety of the trip. She was to ride the bus with Ben to and from the trip, eat lunch with him, and go on all the rides with him instead of spending time with her friends. She then said nobody likes Ben because he whines whenever they have to do work and picks his nose and wipes boogers everywhere. I was horrified, not only because Ms. N had made Bryn do such a thing, but also because she had made her believe she was a bad person for not wanting to. Bryn was the only student assigned a buddy. The rest of the students were free to do what they wanted. Unfortunately, this wasn't my first experience with Ms. N, as she frequently used my soft-spoken, intelligent daughter as the behavior buffer for the naughty boys until I threatened to report her to the superintendent. Holy shit. It's clear to me that Ms. N is still too comfortable with enforcing archaic gender roles on her kids and forcing girls to do unpaid emotional labor for the sake of the boys. Whoa. I immediately sent Ms. N an email condemning her actions. She sent me back an email with a bunch of BS that basically ended with, if Bryn goes on the trip, she has to be Ben's buddy. Fine. I informed her Bryn would not be attending. I immediately booked VIP tickets the same day her class was going so she could still go to the park and see her friends. What happened next I wasn't expecting. I have gotten to know a lot of the moms in her class. When I let them know what Miss N did, some of them were so horrified that they also pulled their kids out of the trip. In total, 8 kids out of a class of 20 are either not going or going with us. Today I got an email from Ms. N saying that because almost half the class isn't going, they either have to raise the cost for the other students or not go at all. She practically begged me to let Bryn go and tell all the other parents to let their kids go, promising she wouldn't make Bryn do anything she didn't want to do. I told her she should have thought about that before she tried to make my daughter do her job. Boom. My husband said I was being petty and that Ms. N clearly feels bad about what she did, and I should let Bryn go as I've already gotten my way. He asked me if I really wanted to deprive the children of what they've been waiting for all year. The thing is, if this wasn't Ms. N's first offense, I probably would have agreed, but she has a pattern of this type of behavior and hopefully this will put a stop to it. Plus, if she has to explain this to her superiors, I have receipts. Is my husband right, or am I justified? Okay, so the one thing that we have to keep in mind that really seals the deal on all of this is that OP's daughter was the only student who was going to be forced to be Ben's buddy for the day. Everyone else got to do whatever the hell they wanted. And this teacher has used OP's daughter as a behavioral buffer for other students in the past. Those all happen to be boys. The gender part of this aside, using one student to be a behavior buffer for ill-behaved students is bullshit. You can't put that responsibility on a student, especially one student. But just because they're an empath, just because they're soft-spoken, just because they're good at calming people down, that student now has to work. Not just homework, not just classwork, but work by babysitting another student when they're supposed to be doing fun stuff. That is horse shit. You can't do that to a student. You can't. And if the school had some kind of policy about a buddy system to make a behavioral buffer, you can't do it to one student. You've got to rotate through, right? It can't always be the same student that gets punished for being an empath or for being emotionally intelligent. This is horrible for this little girl. And the fact that she was made to feel like she was going to be a bad person for not wanting to do it just doubles down on the shittiness of it. You cannot do that to a freaking 9-year-old kid. Holy crap. I think OP's in the right here, and taking the stand, pain creates change, right? So yes, this is a painful situation, and yes, this affects many children, but the bigger point here is that this drew a line in the sand, this planted a flag that causes enough pain that Ms. N is going to have to explain to superiors. This is all going to come to light. It is not a one-time thing. Ms. N has done this over and over again, using OP's 9-year-old daughter to babysit badly behaved students who happen to be boys. What Ms. N probably should have done, if students are that badly behaved, they've got to have some kind of teacher's assistant or some kind of behavioral specialist at the school that is assigned to that student, or that student doesn't get to go on the trip if they're that badly behaved. If it's so bad that another student is going to have to miss out to babysit them, why is that student going? Wouldn't they stay behind? Wouldn't the teacher be assigned to babysit them? Wouldn't some other staff be assigned to babysit them? Why a student? Why are you putting that student to work? That's the bullshit part of this. And the fact that it's a repeated problem is the bigger bullshit part of this. So, OP, I'm going to say you're not the asshole. Let me know what you guys think, though. This is a messed up situation. And if this happened with my 9-year-old girl, I would go ape shit. Ape shit. Also, go Chiefs!